What's up, everybody? Random Vidcast time because I had a little time and I thought, why the hell not? It is a beautiful Monday afternoon where it's windy as hell and, not much going on. I happen to be going in a little later today, so I thought I would do a little vidcasting right away. Shout out to Drunk Troy. Awesome voice chat last night, and there is that. No butters, I will not say that. But nice reference. So, let's talk about some stuff league related. We've officially kicked into like gear up for the new season week. Draft is over and it's set up and it's public, and the DSFL draft is finished and I think is going to get aired in the next couple of days. Let me find out on announcements. Either way, we are near the end of the off-season cycle. Prospect Bowl. Thursday is the draft presentation. Friday is the preseason, which means likely. Next Monday we start the new season. We're here. We're gearing up. We're getting ready. We got updates going right through. I'm up to almost 370 TP. I'm pretty excited about that. Team's gonna probably repeat, even though there are 5 teams who might win. There are like 5 teams who might win, but I want to fucking be unreasonable about my team. God damn it. Now, a lot of teams have lots of reasons to be happy. Lots of like a little bit ago, I was gonna write up a piece about sort of the opposite of overhyping, or sorry, overreacting. Do like kind of overhyping, and then ask some GMs and stuff about what they were excited for in terms of their teams, and I got some responses that sort of have gotten lost in the shuffle because of everything else. So I apologize to those GMs and HO members who I had talked to about some of the stuff you were excited about. I am gonna try to, when I write my next overreact article, to go back to including the super positive stuff as well. In retrospect, I kind of missed that aspect of it, and just trying to focus on the negative hot takes, I guess. So, going forward, when I do write that, expect some positive hot takes as well. Kind of balance the two out as best you can. But really, every team has a lot of reasons to be excited, especially after this draft. A lot of teams took some steps forward. I know I'm super fucking excited. The new guys in the Austin locker room have been great. Just fit right in. So, hey, what's up? Let's do some stuff. Let's see if we can come back and really follow through on that new dynasty aspect. As some of you have heard, I've got projects going on behind the scenes that aren't going to be immediate, obviously, but one of the things that came up frequently in discussions recently is that we just don't have enough for people to do with their money. And this is important for a couple of reasons. One, because you don't really have reason to earn money. You don't have reason to spend it. If you don't have reason to earn money, it takes away from people demanding money in contracts. Very big deal for one set of important reasons. It takes away from people wanting to do things like media. Different for different reasons, but important for different reasons. Media, obviously, there's a big slew of participation that comes with it, as you've seen lately when you've got all these people just pumping out media of all different kinds. It's cool, people get to read stuff that's exciting, it's engaging, and it kind of builds on itself. It's one of those things. On the other side, when you've got contract money, well, you don't have a reason to demand more contract money. Nobody does. And yes, I know no matter what we do, there's going to be a certain percentage of people who always accept the minimum or close to the minimum. Whew, Austin just got paid. But for a lot of players, having reason to ask for more money is all they really need to do so, which can lead to more roster movement and league parity and things like that, which is a very, very big deal. So I've been focused on trying to find ways for people to spend money. A couple of different things I'm working on with a couple of different people, but one of the reasons is that in the absence of these options, the reality is that you've got members of HO, GMs out there who are going to propose things like structured salaries, no contract negotiations, no nothing. Just this is the salary you get based on your TPE and that's it. Because people aren't going to accept more anyway. Never mind how insanely not true that already is, but apparently 60% of the league taking minimum is too much, and it's enough to completely change the way the league is run in a way that is fucking stupid. Now this was one long running example, and it's the one I want to use because that person was condescending, didn't know what the fuck they were talking about, and said I was overreacting when I brought experience from a different league actually having run the kind of system they were proposing. You're overreacting. I drafted your team, bitch. Which he did not know, so that trash talk also fell flat. No, I don't mean to call out Shady specifically, because it's obvious what I'm talking about. Shady's one of many people. It's not specifically him, so don't, come at that dude for just trying to come up with ways to fix what he thinks is wrong. There are people out there who are much worse in terms of, I just created rules so I said I could do something, or the league has the right to agree with me, or those kind of rules. His rule was dumb, and he clearly didn't take it well when it was called dumb by the one person who had the experience to call it dumb. And also it was me, and y'all know how I am. But he was trying to take positive step forward, so don't take this as like I'm completely shitting on the dude just because I'm completely shitting on the dude. There's different levels to that. His heart was in the right place. Oh, my co-star is super noisy today. As some of y'all know, my co-star is my chair. It makes the most noise. Daisy pops up. She's a visitor, but she's really a co-star. Anyway, so a couple other things I've talked about. I've actually written up proposals and sent to HO, and one I'm currently working on a proposal with a super awesome team. One thing that could happen. Don't. HO's got a lot of shit going on here, so there's a reason that things take time to get done and them to look over and discuss. We've got expansion, and we've got dealing with the long-term hosting of the site, and we've got DSFL expansion, and we've got massive drafts, and we've got what are we going to do with our next recruitment, and we've got basic league shit to deal with all at once. So extra side stuff, which is what it really is not their priority right this second. So don't expect them to have an answer tomorrow and for shit to be up and running next week. That's not how it's going to work. And as much as I want y'all to get excited about possible stuff, and as much as I want to share these possible things I'm working on, don't jump the gun and don't make it a thing where you make somebody want to do it less because you're a dick about it. Right, Daisy? You're pop up here? Come on, say hi. Say hi to your people. Come here. Say hello to the people, Daisy. Hi. Hello. Oh, I don't have the thing up, so you're not going to see yourself. Look, there you are. Hi, Daisy. That's you. Okay. Yes. You're the most famous dog in the league. No. No. She does not like that when I do it back. So, I'm working on the controller cover. Nice. So let me go into that just a little bit more. I got to put together a potential casino, which I know is something somebody tried and failed. We're doing something different. We did setups in terms of games that could be played, how it would be run, possible things we would need for it. And I brought in BW3, head of fantasy, good person to go talk to. I brought in, asked the bank for a representative, and the head of the bank's like, I got you, I'm your point man. So Westfield's been in there. I asked HO for a representative for this project because they're very aware that I'm working on this stuff. And so they sent me one of theirs, and then me, and then I briefly brought in Beaver, who's the head of the casino and PBE, to kind of look over what we were talking about. So I'm working on the final stuff for this, and hoping to bring that to them this season and hopefully get something rolling for the future. On top of that, BW3 and I worked on some potential fantasy changes that might come up in the future. We sent a proposal in. Could be very interesting. I think it could be popular. We'll see. Yes, it could involve spending your money, which ties back into this. Obviously, the casino would, but this would too. So we'll see some stuff's going on, and I'm always willing to listen to projects or ideas other people have and see if I can turn it into something. Work with you. I'm always willing to work with you. And of course, another idea that was floating around. But before I step on that, I should note, because I like to give credit where it should be given. Because I'm going to give criticism where it should be given. I'm going to give credit where it should be given too. That the original casino conversation was Manic and I, but he was so busy with all that other shit I was telling you about that I had to kind of take it and be like, all right, I got this. I'm going to run with it, and then go from there. So just because they had so much going on that he couldn't participate, even though we had chatted back and forth about it, and I kind of took some of the bits of things we were talking about and sort of expanded on that. So, give people credit where that's due. I'm going to put my finger right here. Why am I doing that? Yeah, I'm always willing to listen to other ideas. I'm really excited to potentially see these things work out. I might have put myself into a job somehow doing that. And while I'm here, I should also just announce that I put in a proposal with HO to run a permanent awards committee. Because obviously last season started out with just, we're kind of creating this and we're figuring out how it goes. And I think a long-term stable setup needs to happen, but that requires somebody to go in and create a long-term stable setup. And this is one of my babies, so I proposed it and I sent him here are my thoughts and here's what I want to do and here's how I want to do it, and we'll see. Again, another thing that's not an immediate thing. They're going to get to it later. They fully should get to it later, but we'll see how that goes. They might like all of my proposals. They might like none of them. We'll see what happens. But I'm working to try to help the league. I told everyone to randomly send me questions, DM me questions, and 2 people have from the looks of it. So let me answer your questions real quick. Raven, are you doing a podcast? Are you reading a podcast? Are you interested in reading it? That's an inside joke, by the way. Kaneko, squirrel! I would love to do a podcast with you. Somebody needs to teach me how to do that. I'm going to write that too. I think Raven volunteered to do that in the future. I'm now that video where the celebrities answer the internet, where they announce what they're typing as disembodied hands that aren't theirs type it. Oh, Raven responded. I'm always down for reading podcasts. And at some point, I do want to learn how to have guests. It's weird how the 2 questions kind of like tied into each other. Recording right now. Ask Miss Diff. Other than that, in case you guys didn't notice, training camps are up for DSFL and NSFL, so that's awesome. As we get back into that, like, this is prep week, this is gear up week. This is the week where the update is going to be reflected in week 1 of next season. This is the big one, okay? So just get on it. You can get equipment, you can do all these things now. Like it's big time. Yo, Vince McMahon there, it's weird. Tell SD not to drink and drive. SD, don't drink and drive. Sometimes you should run. Sometimes you hide. Little background. Drunk Troy voice chat last night. SD was just popping off. And I don't say things like popping off. He ran out of beer and was joking about I'm gonna go get some, and somebody said don't drive. He's like I'm gonna drive, and so I told people to tell him not to drink and drive in other channels. And then Inverted, aka Kyle, then apparently took that and ran with it in every possible channel. And he's not even in Drunk Droid, by the way. So I was like, yes, I weaponized Kyle. What are my thoughts on the draft? From here, it looks good. Here being where you are, also. It's true, I am also here, which is Austin. He doesn't know, of course, that I was just talking about that. Was just talking about that. Now am announcing that I'm typing this. Already made the joke about the Ask the Internet videos. Let me see. Raven apparently has some options on me possibly having guests on this show in the future, which is weird because I would have to prepare. I don't want to prepare. That sounds weird, right? Me preparing stuff? Might actually have to prepare questions and sort of have an organized discussion with somebody. That'd be so odd. It's so weird. Either way, lots going on. Lots happening. Pretty excited to get back in there and start swinging again. Been very much enjoying having retired from GMing. Speaking of which, Mooney just messaged me. Questions. As I missed the last podcast question thread, as I was negotiating contracts, can I ask for an accent for you to answer the question in? If so, I want you to do the accent you think I have. Oh. You see, he's in central England. So, it's not northerner, it's not southerner, it's not Liverpudlian, it's not... Ooh. Maybe he's the Mrs. Doubtfire accent. No, I think he's just, just kind of got one of those soft accents, and just there. So, question 1: how many groups of potential expansion GMs approach you for advice on their teams and ideas? And the answer is, I'm not telling you. More than one, and especially if you count Joe trying to force me into it. No, I can't hold on to the accent for that. It's weird. Sometimes I can when I'm just talking random stuff, but when I'm talking... Hello! Question 2. What are your plans for the next couple of seasons now you are not GMing? I just kind of covered that. In theory, I'd like to build up the... There's so much Australian slipping in there every time I do that one. Which makes sense, Australian accent came from lower class British accent to start with, amongst many, kind of. So it should have pieces of various British accents in it. What are your plans for the next couple of seasons now you are not GMing? I'm going to try to make the awards committee a thing, and working on this casino fantasy. I want to continue building up the media journalist situation again, because I felt like it's really deteriorating until we had almost no characters. Now I'm just slowly moving into soft Australia. How are you finding the Copheads? Copheads? I named the team Copperheads LR with all the new faces. Loving it. They just fit in, and it's one of those benefits of having been able to interact with them before the draft is you can kind of have an idea, and when they plug in, they're plugging into people they've already interacted with to at least some degree. So it's been awesome. Thank you. My accent sucked. Other than that, though, other than, all the stuff happening in the league right now, and all the things that are about to happen, with this update being the big one for the opening of the season, as I mentioned, and you've got equipment's open, you've got training camps open, you guys new PTs, I think, right? Did I say that correctly? Is there actually a PT? There's not a PT yet. There should definitely be like a last part of the off-season PT. Should be. Ultimus is getting graded here shortly, I believe. Let's see. Ultimus is due by several days ago, so it should be graded pretty soon. He knows the accent sucks. That's why he wants to hear it. Also, it's because I have the headphones in, so I can't hear myself and adjust. I can't hear myself, and I adjust. And this is sort of that low-key, almost posh British standard. I know there's a term for it, but I don't remember what it is. Where the rich, highly educated people speak in newscaster tones in this accent, and their voice is almost half an octave deeper for no apparent reason. And then you got the Northerners who sound like, Sean Bean. I can't. Okay, I gotta stop trying to do accents when asked and just bust them out naturally, because apparently naturally is the only way it works. So there we go. So there was the accents. There was the question. There was the answers. Boom goes the dynamite. So with that said, nobody else had questions. And shout out to Squirrel, my only companion in making random AEW references. Cowboy shit. Also, who was that person? Shout out to that new person who made a reference to the Harry Dresden series. That was pretty awesome. It was nice to see. I rarely see anyone who knows that one, weirdly. Tesla? Yeah, shout out to Tesla. I'm sure we'll have some Dresden conversations coming up now. Also, if you haven't, check out my media article from a couple of days ago that was about side things you can do in the NSFL. It's already on like page 2 or 3 at this point. So, that's always going to happen because we have so many things going on. But check that out, because there's some things you can sign up to, and there's some links in there. There's now the Cards Against Humanity server, there's a Jackbox server, there's Werewolf. I've got a topic up on gamer tags. Go put your gamer tags in there, as well as the games you like to play. I want to start building a comprehensive list of that. We have a huge, awesome community, and we have so many interests that I want to start pulling some of our other interests and sort of create some stuff so that someone who's new can come in and be like, oh, not only am I doing this, but I can find people who do this and people who do this. I think that's kind of the next stage of where we're at, and that's another thing I want to be working on. So I want to kind of work on diversifying the league interest built around the league as the nucleus, but like all these other things we also do, because community is the shit. And I don't just mean the show, which was also the shit. So I'm going to probably link that in the in the that's what I'm gonna do. And then fantasy leagues, I think I'm gonna eventually create something for that too. But yeah, time to start doing that. I think it'll be really beneficial long term, even if it takes a little work to get off the ground. So that's another thing I'm gonna be working on. So with that said, I think I'm gonna go ahead and knock this one out. Little quick 20-minute check-in with y'all and see how you doing. So I'm doing great. Go Copperheads. And before I go away, nothing. Okay. So you heard Joe's podcast, then you know. And if you haven't heard Joe's podcast, then other people know, and now you're about to know that Joe and I did have a brief discussion over several days about the possibility of becoming expansion GMs, entirely because he started it. I want to make sure I stress that. He started it. We could do it again. Yes, I know we could do it again, but we shouldn't. But we could, and now it's in your brain. I literally threatened him, told him I wanted to strangle him a little bit. Because I did. Because, as I said, I'm pretty much a wind-up toy in which you put ideas in my head and watch me run. And which he's like, I know, that was the whole point. And I'm like, yeah, but in this case, I already have the ideas. Could I do it? Would I want to do it? So we thought about it, and we went over some things, and we looked into countries in the Caribbean, because I also like realism like Joe, and I wouldn't want like a country in Moscow or whatever, or a team in Moscow, but things like, uh, you know, a team in Cuba or uh, Santo Domingo or whatever have populations big enough that they could support it, and they're still close enough so that they're reasonable. You know, these are only a couple hour flights from New Orleans, and it's not really a further. You know, they'd be closer to several teams than several existing teams already are. They're right there. You know, if you don't realize all those big islands right off the coast of Florida, how close they actually are, you should really fucking look at a map. Um, yeah, we did eventually talk about Orlando because I didn't want to do traditional NFL teams, cities as well. Um, we agree on a lot of stuff like that. Uh, and then we were talking about branding before I just was like, no, I don't want to. Because we had the crazy talk, and then it turned into maybe we should just be backups and wait and see if we do it like on the back end, or if there's four, then maybe we'll do it. And then eventually I was just like, no, I want to work on this other stuff and keep working on this other stuff. Let's throw our hat right here, and then maybe somewhere down the line we'll do it. So it's season 21 now. Maybe something happens many seasons down the road, and you see us come back and go for it again. We'll see. But in the meantime, I want to work on what I'm doing here, uh, and all the stuff that's going on in the league. So that's my quick version of that story for those who heard Joe's and wanted to hear the other side, because people like to hear multiple sides of the same story. But in the height of it, we started a chat with Bex to let her know kind of here's where we are and here's what we're thinking about, and because she's the commissioner, and kind of talking it through with her. And at one point, I did propose to Joe. So there you go. So I think I'm gonna end the vidcast there with me proposing to Joe. So y'all have a good one. I'm gonna be around. Like I said, if you have any ideas, let me know. If you want to help me with organizing some stuff, because eventually, we're talking topics. We're talking probably like Google Sheets and things like that, so people can have stuff they look at. How, if this sounds like something that might be interesting to you, hit me up. Let me know. Yeah. So, till then, everyone everywhere, have yourselves a great afternoon. Stay frosty. And remember, Austin Copperheads, Season 20 champions. We build houses. Duckface.